Cloud9.
Yeah, it is very good versus a Vi engage as well. You know, Trundle ult on the Vi, even if you don't get it on the Sejuani, you can just melt that Vi as she goes in, and you've got a Kennen ultimate AoE, Shockwave from Orianna creating space as well here for Cloud9. So they actually have quite a lot of answers for this engage.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things I also really love when you are playing Trundle is if you're playing against a diver, you just pillar out the backline, right? So Vi ults in, you pillar out the Sivir, you all focus the Vi, and that can be very, very difficult. So I do think Cloud9 has some interesting answers, but it's such a non-traditional comp that I'm going to be really interested to see how they pilot it. Like, how many times have they actually played with no melee support bot? You know, Ashe bot is very kind of different style, and no traditional hard engage. You know, it is going to be the Ashe for the engage with the ultimates and flanks from Fudge.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Ashe ult and the Kennen flank, Kennen flashes, baby. Gotta get in there.
Already here, seeing some of the setups that we're going to see in this first game. It is going to be exhaust Sejuani, so it's pretty much mandatory for someone on your team to be actually taking exhaust, but it's almost always support. Renata here, though, prioritizing that extra kill pressure with the Ignite, so it's Dhokla that actually bring the exhaust here.
And I think it's actually a really smart decision from CLG, because when you're playing against the Kennen, you always want one person to mark that Kennen for the team fights and keep him out, and Sejuani is the one.
Well, as we're waiting for minions to collide and things to really get underway here in Game 1, Jensen has got some thoughts on CLG. Let's check it out.
I think CLG is an interesting team. They play very aggressive and kind of play a bit more of a chaotic style. They're a very bloody team, so there's going to be a lot of fighting, so that's always exciting.
To say the least, Jensen, CLG have the first blood timer, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, fastest in the entire league, and they are indeed the most bloody team.
They're just starting straight up. I mean, Ashe level 1 is really strong. CLG have 5 members here, though. There's no way that C9 know this, and unless they can actually burst this down, they gotta leave, man.
Yup, it is gonna be bursted down, secured by Blaber, and the escape is there. CLG try to punish, but the 3-man C9 squad escaped.
They just killed it so fast, and Dhokla was there, so he actually has to TP level 1. So now Fudge gets prio top lane. That is actually so bad for CLG.
Cloud9 just pulled off a heist of their own. Berserker trading heavily, though.
Oh, going in at level 1. Poome eating a ton of damage as the spears are rended. CLG's bottom lane loses hard at level 1.
And it's worth noting that Zven is playing Hail of Blades. It's not the more common Comet. So if you do take these early trades against that Hail of Blades, it's so much auto attack damage here.
This is what I was saying in Champs of Light, how Ashe used to be such a good AD carry, a matchup into Sivir, and Zven is just abusing it as a former AD carry with the extra range on the auto attacks, as well as the volley early on. You cannot beat that. Hail of Blades, extra damage, chunking through and burning through all these potions very quickly. 1 potion, 1 biscuit left for Luger, 1 biscuit.
Oh, handshake though! Luger goes in, and here's a fresh slice of pepperoni and first blood over to CLG.
Poome hits the handshake. Berserker gets so aggressive right up into the tower.
Man, game 1, 3 minutes in, the action is already popping off. He's gonna try to tower dive him.
Oh, he dropped.
Oh,
he gets away with murder.
A 1v1 solo kill tower dive. What is this game?
We promised you this would be bloody, and we deliver. CLG here. Contractz actually getting counter jungled again. This is Raptor counter jungle following up the blue counter jungle. Blaber is winning the jungle war, even though the bottom lanes where all the action is.
Man, this is spicy already. Zven with both the kills as well. He actually is just straight up buying a tier and a longsword there. So he's actually going to go for a Muramana, more aggressive build. Not necessarily going straight towards that Imperial Mandate, which is the common mythic. But he can go a higher damage build, right? Like, he got more gold than either of the ADs right now.
I'm the AD carry now. Zven standing up on stage over there. My goodness.
Oh, man. Just walks back to lane, starts taking the CS from Berserker.
Oh, that tower dive was hilarious. All right, here's another look at it, though. Berserker going for the harassment. Got the auto, but Poome got the handshake into the tower. And even with the cleanse used, they still get the first blood. Zven, though, using that Ashe range, super long auto attack range here to harass him under tower. And then, even with Poome leveling up, he pulled off the play.
We're not done. Poome is, though. Berserker picks up the kill, makes it a 3-1 game for Cloud9.
Man, this is madness. Poome as well is going for a very squishy build here. He's not playing Relic Shield. It is standard, but he's on Spell Thieves, which means he's got no HP, no defenses, and this double marksman is just walking him down. You hit him with the volley slow, utilize that Hail of Blades early on here to maximize damage and really try to bully this.
One of my favorite things going from best of ones into a best of 5 situation is how you'll see teams be willing to play these riskier, more aggressive types of League of Legends. Go for the full send in bottom lane early on. Why not? And for Cloud9, it's paying off.
And one of the stat I was trying to get out as the invade started out and we got into all the action was about the kills and assists for both of these teams pre-15 minutes. CLG is first with 9.2 kills and assists on average, and Cloud9 is third. So certified banger indeed. You are correct at that. Bottom lane is where all of the aggression has been, with especially Cloud9 jumping forward. And off of this recall, getting that Noon Quiver, and the boots are so big for Kalista.
And it is really cool. Oh, Super just barely misses that ward. So Jensen gonna try to stay around here and bait him. Just try to wait and waste as much time as he can there from Contractz. But Contractz knows what's up, does see that the ward is there, but the sweeper had expired. It just reminds me a lot, though, you know, Zven bringing a marksman in support of when Perkz actually swapped bot and was bringing mages into bot lane, you know, in specific matchups. Because it is a unique skill set that he has here. You know, he's going to be a much better Ashe support than most people are, right? So it's fun to see players really utilize their skill set when they're swapping roles in a unique way.
And off of bottom lane pushing here, bottom lane control, that's what this gets you. Dragon control. Blaber on Trundle, easily can solo Dragon, no problem. These things don't do much damage at all anymore after the nerfs. They've got more health. Blaber just smites early to get the charge ticking for his second one as well.
Oh, but a level 6 1v1 here in mid lane won't turn into a kill. Zven down to 200 HP, bottom lane, Luger and Poome. They go in, and it's a shutdown over. The credit is for Poome. Luger, 200 HP, needs the damage, but he won't find it. Berserker, ready to turn it around. Poome flashes out to stay alive.
Berserker had to wait out the bailout. That's why he was waiting so long, stacking those spears. As soon as the bailout expired there, gets the Ren, kills off Luger. This one's still going well for C9. And that early hawkshot allowed them to play aggressive, allowed them to do the early smite on the dragon because they actually spotted Contractz up on his
They're not
raptors.
done! Bottom lane time, number 4!
Blaber's coming in. Poome tries to walk away, but it only takes a chomp and a spear, and he'll burn on down. Blaber gets kill credit, 5-2 game.
7 kills, 7 minutes.
2,000, 7 minutes into the game.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Palafox getting harassed under tower. No teleport for him. Already used the stolen ult with the sombrero shockwave. And Fudge does find Contractz, but the smite is enough, secures the payment for Blaber showing on the bottom half of the map.
Top side, Dhokla's got that wave shoving up against Fudge, so he'll be able to try to get something done there, maybe rotate around. But in mid lane, it's Contractz. Flash engage. Palafox right behind him. Jensen with a nice disengage so far. Zven still trying to slow these guys down. Palafox and Contractz both get out. Zven borrows the arrow as the conflict ends.
They're gonna have to watch out for that Ashe arrow. I wonder if he's willing to throw it out and try to stop a recall or something. Probably not, but it's gonna be really powerful for gank assist, especially when Contractz hits 6. If Palafox still does have that Ashe ulti, could be pretty deadly for Jensen, who's of course not playing cleanse. But Zven himself, you know, is closing in on that level 6, and it's going to be very, very scary on that bottom side if your spell shield is down and Ashe at 6.
Yeah, FTX total gold on the left side of your screen shows you Berserker is way far out in front of the pack right now, 2-1-2. He's up 2 waves worth of farm over Luger Sivir as well. Beautifully and aggressively playing this matchup. But Contractz is here. Can they get anything to work on this? Spooky Ghost into the river. Contractz gets spotted out by that one.
Ah, dang. Can't pull.
Oh! The arrow, but the save. They shot it from Palafox from all the way downtown.
Oh my goodness, this game is hilarious. Stolen ult earlier from the skirmish in the mid lane. Palafox waits until they forget about it. Doesn't matter though. Does get the Kalista ultimate in defense used there for Cloud9. They have the backup.
Poome, okay, goes for the handshake. Nothing to shake hands about. 2.5 minutes till our next Drake spawns, by the way. Remember, C9 also took that first one as Berserker moves forward yet again. Contractz putting a lot of time into hanging out in this bottom lane.
Those Sentinels, those tricky Sentinels. How do we get past the Sentinels, Flowers?
It's like a Metal Gear game. You got to get past the guards and not walk into the cone, but unfortunately for Contractz, he is not able to sneak around this river.
I mean, it's really cool because, you know, you would think, okay, you're going to gank this bot lane so much on the C9 side because they have these two squishy members. Vi can get down there, but between the Sentinels and the Hawkshot, it's really difficult to actually circumvent all of this vision and find an angle in to actually pull off that gank. So things looking good. Zven now 6, does make the rotation to mid, but Palafox had sniffed it out, was playing towards that bottom side. We'll see if he wants to look for an arrow.
Cloud9 are just doing such a good job at snowballing here. First Dragon, first Herald, over a 2,000 gold lead for themselves. And they do have some really nice options when they do get to the team fight. So much AoE, Shockwave, Kennen hasn't even really been a part of this game yet with the camera always being bottom. So excited to see about the transition here towards next Dragon. 1 minute, 15 seconds as far as the setup.
But quietly, you know, it's a 20 CS lead top lane, or not quite, but there's going to be minions for Dhokla to actually pick up at his tower, so we'll see how much of an advantage it does end up being. And it is the early serrated Dirk here for Zven. The arrow comes out, though.
Poome, half HP, goes for the handshake, won't get it. C9 continuing to play this as aggressively as possible here in the bot lane 2v2, ready to crash another wave into the turret. Blaber moving down through the river now, just in case Contractz is here again.
Yeah, so I'm wondering now if it's just going to be Umbral Glaive Rush. I think that probably makes the most sense with the early Dirk here. For Zven, just play around that vision control.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the pieces. It's just such good volley spam. You get your lethality, instant, huge value right there, and your tier just keeps on stacking, spamming over and over. Volley spam. Zven has had such a big impact with this lane-focused, hail of blades, lethality rushing Ashe support. This is a very common pick, of course, as we went over. We've even seen some support Ashe go AP and Leandries in the LCK as well, so there's a lot of variations on it.
Alrighty, 5 seconds till that Drake, and you can see Poome making his way towards the river, but now has to back up as Blaber and Zven are going to find him. Arrow available for Zven here in a few seconds. Cloud9 can go fishing for that one if they like. Remember, having priority over these objectives first is very important for C9 without a huge engage mechanism aside from a Kennen flank available. CLG contemplating whether or not they might want to interfere with this. They're bringing the party down. Contractz leading the way. Sweeping as they go. Luger and Palafox right behind him. Drake's at about 2K. Arrow finds its way onto Luger, who's almost dead already. Into the pit goes Blaber, but it's going to be secured by Contractz and CLG. Blaber gets over the wall. CLG end up taking the Drake.
Whoa, we don't actually get any kills, no blood, but it is a steal on the Dragon, splitting that 1-for-1. Herald immediately used bottom side, though, and Cloud9 will get this whole turret.
Yeah, we'll see if they can actually finish it off. It's going to be close, but with all the CLG members here, I think they just have to back it up. So first tower will be denied. They do get the crash and some gold off of it. A great steal from Contractz. But I have to say, also, the pillar from Blaber was really nice. It looked like it fully pinned Luger against the wall. He popped his Sivir ultimate, and he didn't seem to be able to move. So he was just completely pinned there until it expired, and I thought it was going to go better for C9 than it did.
Yeah, I think they finished off no problem. The Sivir wave clear is delaying the issue, but it will go down. No problem here. So much harassment from this aggressive Cloud9. Opening, and the arrow does stop the recalls. So not going to ever get a kill right there because, of course, going to get a spell shield from Luger, but stopping the recalls is big. They are low health.
And it's worth noting that, you know, the early CDR boots, plus it's Ultimate Hunter here for Zven, so it's already a sub 60-second cooldown. They're getting kind of low, though, hitting this tower. They have to be a little bit respectful.
C9
There's no respect
low.
here in this bottom lane. They're taking tower shots just to get another one off. It's so close.
They're not done yet. Berserker still just immediately going to meet this wave as soon as it leaves the turret's distance. He wants to always be driving things forward here in this bottom lane. He'll step up. He should be able to grab solo gold here. Blaber's just hanging around just in case somebody shows up, but C9 gets first turret.
Look at that determination. I said the whole turret's going to go down, and Berserker was like, I got you, bro. I'm not leaving till it's down.
Never leave a man behind, you a piece of caster.
That turret is going down.
Berserker, 2K up now individually off that. Let's watch this one more time. Just look at that. So the stun and then the pillar. He pops his Ashe ulti, he can't move. He's just stuck.
Yeah.
He's just stuck there against the wall. So the perfect pillar, but
pillar.
at the same time, Contractz comes in, gets the steal, and Palafox with him, they push out Blaber. You know, without Fudge there, Blaber is fully solo frontline, right? And he is going Divine Sunder, so he is pretty squishy. You know, he can ult the Vi as you're talking about, but it's going to be, you know, really about getting it on Dhokla as much as he can if he wants to be able to survive against all of the damage that CLG is pumping out.
Really loved Poome's ultimate in that river fight as well, making it so C9 was not able to jump in and try to punish his Contractz went into fight. But you can see CLG moving multiple players up into the top side now. It'll be Poome going in first as Luger's right behind him. Control ward into the brush. Gonna see those wards placed down by C9 as Zven tries to fire off a volley to get rid of these guys for a little bit. CLG having 4 players in the top half of the map now as the Herald is spawning for the second time. Palafox on the other end of the map, but does have Unleashed Teleport to join up if CLG needs it. 4,500 gold though, gentlemen. That's quite a lead to have to play into at 15 minutes. If you're CLG, do you even want to fight over this?
Looks like they do. I mean, they're in the area, and Kennen is bot side. So I think if Kennen doesn't TP, CLG are down to actually take the fight here. Palafox looking to threaten a flank, and C9's going to have to make their choice because Kennen is now coming.
All right, they're engaging on Blaber, who tries to get away over the wall. Contractz going into the back line. Berserker's under pressure. Contractz gets him. Shutdown's there. Fudge goes into the back, looking to cut up CLG. He'll take out Dhokla, but where's he going to go now? Luger's trying to get away, and Blaber's bringing down the hammer as Luger falls. Palafox picks up Fudge, and C9 takes Contractz down. 2 for 3, favoring C9.
Blaber's gonna be able to pick the Rift Herald right afterwards. What a scattered fight as they chase them through the jungle into the backline, and Fudge 1v3s back there basically. Able to chunk them out. The teleport's coming though. They still want to answer. Rift Herald fight part 2.
It ain't done yet, baby. Palafox still ready to contest this. Jumping back, Everfrost trying to root Blaber.
So 1v3.
Palafox! Zven just guns him down.
Hit him with the Kobe. What did that TP? Sucked.
I think the choice to 1v3 was a little bit questionable here. Let's take a look at the information that led up to it. Well, this is the actual skirmish. So we've got 2 very separate fights, and the teleport coming in on the backside for Fudge is what makes the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. He does get into that backline. Sejuani, you know, did have the exhaust, I believe, but, you know, still able to actually burst down Dhokla very early. Flashes past, doesn't hit the Q, but is able to sidestep enough there from Palafox to force out the flash to actually finish off himself. And then as C9 take the fight, they go back to Herald.
The exhaust was used at the start when they were going in for the pick. It was used aggressively. That's why it wasn't there to deal with the Kennen when Fudge jumped in. I feel like I gotta criticize Dhokla for that one. You take the summoner spell for one damn reason, and the reason is Kennen. It ends up biting him back a little bit there, but it's still a 5,000 gold lead for the side of C9. Pretty incredible stuff here. Dhokla wants to make it even more. Fudge goes back underneath the turret. Slicing Maelstrom versus Slicing Maelstrom. CLG cannot get it done. Arrow comes in from across the map, but it ain't gonna hit nothing just yet. CLG still ready to go once more. Fudge dropped as the hawk shot follows up, but now it's Jensen versus 3, and those 3 are trying to get the hell out. Zven's coming around from the side. Volley goes out for the slow. CLG wants to save their players, but Palafox dies again. A rough game for the CLG mid lane.
And at the same time, there's a Herald bot here from C9. They're pushing up with Berserker, so they're gonna get a full tier 2 tower. Berserker is getting paid, and Cloud9 go even on the top side with all 5 CLG members there.
And Cloud9 also picked up the dragon during that. So they are just blowing this game open. The pace is so quick, only 18 minutes in, already over 6,500 gold lead, plus the extra dragon. Cloud9 have made the game give CLG objective bounties. That's how far ahead they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And Berserker now, total gold for him, just about 8,700. The richest member on CLG is just at 6,500 gold. He is more than 2,000 gold ahead of the richest member on their team, and much more than that ahead of Luger, who is way down in the dumps compared to this Kalista. has every opportunity to snowball the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a best of 5. I can see reasoning of leaving Kalista up on 12-15 with the 3 attack damage nerf, seeing if it's going to be as painful as previously. And Berserker's like, yes, you dare not leave up Kalista against me again. This is indeed painful.
All right, so we're 6,500 gold down on the side of CLG. 19 minutes in, no Drake for 3 minutes. Baron's coming alive here in under 60 seconds. I gotta ask you guys, is this even still in CLG's reach proactively, or are they just waiting to punish something now?
I think you can try to play through sides and maybe have Vi hovering one of your side laners, like send Palafox out to a side lane, bring Vi up there, see if you can find 2v1 types of plays, but it is C9 looking to be proactive here around mid lane. A lot of CDR now on Zven. He already has 45 CDR plus 4 stacks on his ultimate hunter. So that Ashe arrow is only a 45-second cooldown at this point, like ridiculously low without even having rank 2.
And it's one of those engage/pick mechanisms that has legitimately 0 risk with it, right? It's not like risk versus reward is hard to evaluate when
you're not Alistar comboing in. You're just shooting this from across the screen.
Absolutely nothing to lose, just going fishing with it. You can see Dhokla hanging out here in bottom lane. He'll be dealing with Fudge in that side situation once again. We do have all of our Unleashed teleports available except for Jensen.
Okay.
As C9
20 minutes.
Begin an early Baron, but it is spotted out with a Scryer's Trinket.
20-minute Baron's here. Let's throw a couple autos in, see if they check. Does get the blue trinket out. Cloud9. See how they want to push this ahead. Teleport comes up for Dhokla, actually, from bottom lane to mid. Wondering if they would want to use like this mid tower health as bait and try and go for some sort of all-in comeback fight, but it looks like he teleports mid and they're still gonna have a bit of a difficult time doing anything here. So
one hit is not even Sivir's gonna save that one. So Blaber can easily walk up, secure it. 3 turrets to 0. CLG have not taken a single structure from their opponents this game. That top lane tier 1 ready to fall over, but they can't get enough control over the map to do anything about it. Look at the vision for the side of CLG. They're choked back on their own half of the river. It's hard to see anywhere.
And that might be the reason, one of the reasons for that teleport as an escape teleport. There's no vision on bottom side, no tower for CLG, so could have been also an escape teleport for Dhokla and not CLG actually looking to set anything up there. That vision, it just gets you so many little advantages, so little cooldowns like that when you don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really scary playing with no towers on bottom lane when you're answering that lane and you got no vision really in that quadrant of the map unless you've seen C9 elsewhere. You don't know if people are coming for you, and that can be really tough. Oh! That was really, really close. Just barely misses out and allows Dhokla to walk out. But again, you just keep firing these off. A quarter of the cooldown's already gone. Almost every wave, he's going to be able to shoot it off when he hits level 11. So C9 really liking their position. They have the early Rage Blade already done on Berserker, so their Baron take is going to be very, very fast if they get an opportunity. And I think C9 just needs to dominate vision in that quadrant of the map, continually threaten starts on these objectives, make CLG come to them, and look to turn with Pillar and Ashe Arrow.
Yeah, the 5-on-5 for Cloud9 is insane. This right here, Frozen Heart, is one of the most valuable items you can get second on jungle. That attack speed or reduction is so good into this CLG low range comp. Everybody's going to be in range of that thing. Blaber can get right into the middle. They're so far ahead. He's a full jungle item ahead here. Massive, massive stuff for Cloud9. So yeah, you can just wait for the next dragon, force on that, number 3.
And C9 will be first to the scene yet again. Imperative for their composition to do this, and they are doing it every single time. They know CLG can't contest them in open ground, and so the 3-man squad, with Jensen still hanging around here on the flanks just in case, will secure Soul Point for C9.
And Fudge is just playing so smart. Like, he knows if CLG aren't turning up to the dragon, the only thing they can do is look for a pick on him. So he's literally just playing max range, back by his tower, playing very, very respectful to the chance of a gank. We know that CLG is actually here, so really smart stuff from him. Another arrow gonna swing and a miss, but Dhokla is pretty far out there and might be gonna get run down.
Oh! Beautiful use of Pillar while mid-air to stop Dhokla from getting over the wall and into the river. Fudge will drop the Maelstrom and Berserker drops Dhokla.
Blaber has had some insane pillars. The pin against the wall on Luger at the dragon fight, right out of the air. Sejuani just going pig shooting there, and Baron is next on the list. They've got the Rend, so if it comes down to the smite fight, huge advantage to Cloud9.
And it looks like we're not even gonna get there. Poome getting caught out over the wall. Jensen still moving forward, making sure that he's zoning the rest of CLG away. Contractz, the only man who might be able to turn this around, goes over the wall! And Contractz steals the Baron from C9!
2 kills. Contractz gets the Baron steal. I said it would be heavily advantaged to Cloud9, but it's not guaranteed to line up Rens and Smites. Contractz gets in there, the Hail Mary play, and it is an objective bounty shutdown as well. CLG needed that, but they do need more than that. So have to play off of this Baron, try and continue to whittle down on that gold lead.
But that was massive. That was game over if Cloud9 get that, right?
Yeah.
You know, this is 1.5K in the pockets of CLG instead of Cloud9. You know, we'd be looking at an 8,000 gold lead plus Baron buff here. This would be lights out. So they have some opportunities now. It was a little bit of a risky Baron. Even with the Ren secure, it's not a 100% guaranteed thing. Fudge did not have his ultimate, so he was not really able to actually force his way through and keep Contractz out because they committed the ulti to kill off Dhokla. So Cloud9 go for something that is in their favor, but they get punished.
The CLG strategy right now has to be create chaos. That's how you come back in games like this where you're getting smashed so hard early on. Take a look at our Rocket Flip the Switch replay and how Contractz is able to get in there. Create some chaos, CLG. First step, Poome. He's out in front. He almost gets one shot here by Fudge. Flashes over. That Q misses, so he survives. And the rest of them with the vision, that control ward you see over the back of the Baron pit.
Yeah, I mean, they really needed to kill it off. That control ward was there the entire time. I think Cloud9 100% should have killed the pink ward.
And then the flash.
Force him to actually, you know, at least get some more wards in there, because that was the one that he dropped himself. Contractz didn't have any more wards, and Poome was zoned away. So all Cloud9 had to actually do was kill off that control ward, and it would have been so hard for Contractz to actually guess. They could have just stopped at 2K, wait for him to come in, kill him off. So really misexecuted, I have to say, there by Cloud9 to never kill off that control ward.
All right, give me an updated check on the cooldown of Ashe Arrow, because as low as it gets, it's still not going to get lower than a Sivir spell shield. It's 24 seconds, so we might need to find other targets.
44.2 seconds. Very, very spammy.
He's almost 11.
Trying to defend their tier 1 turret, but CLG want to get some value out of the Baron here. Sejuani ulti comes out, but it doesn't do a whole lot to Berserker. Arrow flies through, but it won't hit nobody. Poome immediately dies as C9 will not let CLG move forward any further, but the mid lane tier 1 still falls.
Exactly, and again, it's still bounties, right? They're picking up these bounties here, keeping this gold a lot closer than it was looking like. Cloud9 have been snowballing this game out of control, but the later you get into the game, the more farm Sivir picks up, the better chances are.
Well, it's got to happen soon, because I see about 75 seconds left until a Drake fight that will award a Mountain Soul to C9 if they get it. CLG not only has to be ready for this, I would say they've got to be down in that pit first.
All right, how many more objective steals you got in you, Contractz? Because CLG is going to need a couple more. Cloud9 still massive, massive advantage in setting up for this Dragon 2. They already have the Rift Scuttler, 50 seconds. They can push out mid and try and move their vision coverage over. Now, top side there for CLG, Palafox is currently pushing. He's got plenty of time to walk down, but does not have his Unleashed teleport, so is going to have to get his reset off and get right back out there for CLG if they want to try and defend this.
Big Doke separated from the rest of the team, just ready to clear the wave in bottom. Unleashed teleport available for everybody not named Palafox. His will be ready probably around the time that Drake spawns. Exhaust also there. That one has got to be used on Fudge.
Yeah, and something critical here is that there's not a lot of flanking wards there available for the Kennen, and Zven's actually out of wards. He dropped his last one there in the side brush, but Cloud9 looking to engage.
Sometimes you don't need to flank if Blaber can just walk right in. Contractz delivers free money, and C9 keeps walking forward. Dhokla can't really find an angle to get involved after Contractz explodes like that. And there's sort of what you're talking about. As Trundle, you can just press R when Vi presses R. All of a sudden, she's not the main character anymore. She's an extra, and she's dead in episode 2.
And that's the jungler. So no smite steal on the map here for CLG. That's going to be the Dragon Soul for Cloud9. Palafox got hit with the arrow, so Contractz tried to peel for him a little bit there. Goes in with the Q. But then, once you hit that ultimate button, you're in the enemy team all alone, and Cloud9 take him down instantly. Palafox, though,
Yeah, we're talking about being in the enemy team all alone. Palafox has no way out of that one. Fudge picks up his 3rd kill of the game. C9 has not only a Mountain Soul now, they've got a 4,500 gold lead still, and they've got a 5v4 map state for the next 40 seconds with Baron spawning after just a minute. This is great for Cloud9's control.
Absolutely. It's going to be so much harder now for CLG to try to find a pickoff here, to burst someone down through that Mountain Soul shield here. You know, Vi going in, Dhokla going in, Palafox going in, are trying to get that a quick initial kill. Mountain Soul shield is going to make it that much more difficult. And when you're adding on top a shield bow here for Berserker and all of the damage around him, all of the other threats, if you're ignoring Berserker, you're going to get roasted. But it seems so hard to actually be able to burst him down.
Yeah, Cloud9 now with the Mountain Soul should be able to push in. They've already got Blaber shoving up the top wave. He's going for a reset once he joins up with a team with his Spirit Visage. So much extra healing here for Blaber. Yep, there it is. Spirit Visage completed for him. This man is such a tanky troll on that front line. So hard to chop through. An entire jungle item ahead. For CLG, they've got to rely on Luger. Well, the Sivir is the only hope. That Infinity Edge spike there. He's also an entire item behind. So Cloud9 fully aware of the advantage as Fudge pushes in the bottom side and they poke around at the 5 members of CLG. You don't really want that fight. There's not a great spot for Fudge to teleport in, and if you just keep him split pushing, then you can move over to Baron.
I mean, really, they're just delaying backs because bot lane is being pushed up by Fudge, right? So yes, it just hits Dhokla and it seems like kind of a wasted ult, but it's a 38-second cooldown at rank 2. It's basically every wave you can fire an ulti, no problem. Now someone has to answer this bot wave for CLG, or they're just going to lose all those minions. You can see the C9 pings are on that bot wave. No one from CLG is going to answer because they're too concerned about actually losing the Baron here. So CLG getting peeled apart a little bit, feeling like they have to stay in a 5-man squad and losing both their side lanes.
Contractz face checks a brush. Blaber takes a bite out of him. Unstoppable, but he's still gonna drop. Blaber tries to survive long enough so they do not get the reset of the bailout. Fudge comes in, but he's exhausted. Slicing Maelstrom buys a little bit of time as Palafox looks for Blaber still. Luger does not have the ability to DPS in these fights. Berserker goes on a rampage. Poome tries to go home. C9, 2-0. One of them's the jungler. It's Baron time.
And this is going to be huge for Cloud9. No chance for CLG to stop this one now. They will finally get their Baron. They already have the soul here. The windows are closing for CLG. And Cloud9 looking fully in control of game 1.
This is a scary place to be for Counter Logic Gaming. You gotta be thinking they're on their last legs in this one. You're just trying to figure out how to adapt for the next game. In that last fight, Luger just did not have the ability to get close enough to do enough damage to change things. You can see it started off with Contractz space check, and he is not tanky enough for that.
Yeah, again, it's the Cloud9 vision control that sets this up. You know, they've got full, control wards over Baron. You see it turning off the vision in the pixel, turning off the vision around Baron. And so CLG, they had tried to make a pick attempt on Fudge towards mid. You talk about getting pulled across the map. Contractz tried to get in there for the range on the Vi ultimate. They couldn't get that pick, and so then they had to rush towards Baron and Cloud9. Now with the Baron power, they should be able to finish this game number 1.
And that's a big ulti there. They actually get the flash off of Contractz. He had to flash the Ashe arrow there. Zven just playing so well around vision. They have a bunch of sweepers. They obviously have his Umbral Glaive as well, and they're just pushing forward. Dhokla getting those spears stacked up. Likely won't go down, but he's going to be chunked so low.
Yeah, half HP left on that front line. No ulti available for the Sejuani, and considering he has to heal, no way they can defend right now. Poome dies immediately, and C9's got 5v4 and full health to keep it going farther.
Ashe arrows up.
Let's see what else Zven might be able to fish for. Still no ulti ready for the Sejuani. Contractz jumps in. Berserker with a stasis, stopping it in his tracks. They're ready to throw Contractz right back out, but Fudge has the Maelstrom, and now there's no exhaust. CLG has fought their last here in the first game. Luger won't survive. Palafox won't survive. Double kill back over to Fudge. C9 absolutely smashes him in game 1.
Kalista Ashe bottom lane, baby. Kalista Ashe bottom lane, Berserker and Zven. Fireworks from 2 minutes into the game.
Why role swap your old AD carry to support when you could just have them both play AD carry?
Exactly.
And congratulations to Jensen, his 300th LCS win. A monumentous one for him. What an incredible career this guy has had across multiple teams, showing up big here again. But I agree, it was so much about the bot lane dominance, the support Ashe really making the difference. I'm so curious to see total damage done because Zven was getting in there.
A lot of poke damage.
All the volley spam as well. Like, he had 2 completed items. He's only 1 item down on the enemy AD carry by the end of the game.
Yeah.
His Muramana was fully stacked.
Great showing here from Cloud9. Did really like the draft adjustments that they made. A lot for CLG to work on in the best of 5 series now, moving towards game number 2.
And I think it starts with banning Kalista. I think Kalista going into the hands of Berserker anymore throughout this series is going to be questionable at best, and words I can't say on this show at worst. CLG gonna have to make some changes there. Things weren't going great from the beginning, like you guys talked about. Yeah, C9 had control in bottom lane. Top was a total island. We completely forgot that Sejuani and Kennen were in the game for the first 15 minutes, which is great for a lane bully like Kennen, right? So things just seem to be set up well for C9 to succeed.
I mean, even the level 1 invade, right? They all 5 CLG are there to actually respond to that. They steal the blue buff, get away, and Dhokla has the TP level 1 to top lane. Like, it was a rough start. Then the bot lane's getting crushed in the 2v2. It's really hard to